Welcome to The Real Board Loft, Under the Glass, Season 3, Episode 2. I'm Trip Foreman. We got Brett Barley with us. Brett, welcome.
What's up, y'all?
And are you excited?
I am very excited.
About?
This is the Better Every Day from Channel Islands. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it that this is, well, hold on.
Say it, dude. Don't throw that out there, then take it away.
This is my favorite board I've had all year.
Okay.
Yeah.
There has to be one.
There has to be one, and this is it. I absolutely love this board. From the very first session I had on it to when I surfed it a week ago, it's like a skateboard. Like, I can do whatever I want on it. So if the conditions are even somewhat manageable for this board, I'm going to ride it.
Okay. I've seen you riding this board a lot.
Yes.
Like, I've seen it like at Marginal Lighthouse. I've seen it like in the pool in Virginia Beach. I've seen it like literally everywhere. Up and down the island. And I mean, obviously it has every day in the name, better every day. And I guess it was better every day.
Yeah, and it seems like it's just a good board and it's better in everyday conditions.
I mean, kind of hit the nail on the head
it makes
with that
sense,
one.
But it is true.
So for those of you that haven't followed Channel Islands' Happy Family, the Better Every Day is an updated version of the Happy Every Day, and they made it better, right? So they changed the name from Happy to Better. We did a long, in-depth review on this board with Britt Merrick, the designer. So if you're looking to dive ultra deep, you can always check out that video. But in this board, he wanted to do some tweaks. He wanted the ability to run it as a quad because Britt Merrick loves quads, and also
unlike Brett Barley.
Yeah, Brett likes thrusters. Britt likes quads. Brett only rides thrusters. Britt only rides quads. He doesn't even put a center fin box in his board. But
he makes a good thruster.
He makes a good thruster. Looking at this board, the one thing that you'll see, obviously, is it's a swallowtail. And that's one thing that we see trending like in the whole surfboard industry, like from all the major shapers, is everyone's making a small wave swallowtail shortboard. And so this is their board for that style of surfing. It's in Spine Tech construction, which is Channel Islands EPS epoxy stringerless construction. Durable deck on the board, so it can take a pounding, and for your everyday board, which is going to take a pounding because you're riding it the most.
Well, in this board, I've done a lot of airs on, a lot, and airs to the flats. I'm not gonna lie, no offense to Britt or Real or anyone, but I've definitely, because I like this board so much, and there's been a couple days where there were some real air sections. I told Jeffrey, I was like, I'm going to just try and break this board. I'm going to try and do the biggest air I can and stomp it. And I had one where I thought I broke my ankle, but didn't break the board.
Right.
And honestly, for the airs that I've tried stomping on this and the ones that I have ridden out of, it's you would never know. It has pressure dings, but barely. It's honestly, that part has blown me away. It doesn't even have a ding.
I mean, this year, going into this year and trying to be as prepared as we could, we actually had backups for every board. And this was the one that I thought you were going to break because it doesn't have a stringer in it, but yet you didn't break it.
This is actually the one we didn't have a backup of.
Oh, it wasn't? We didn't have a backup on this one.
We had backups for everything except the one that I was like, I'm going to try and break that board today. Not in a bad way. It was because I wanted to go this high above the lip into the flats and pull it. So it survived.
The other thing about Spine Tech is trying to make a very, very light board that's going to bend and release in the turns, create speed, mimicking that single glass pro level board that's typically a disposable board, but in a much longer life construction. And that obviously has been achieved. Listening to and seeing how much you rode this board and how hard you rode it.
And then as you're mentioning, describing it that way and the way that it felt, from the very first session, I will say the very first session, I put some John mediums in because for those of you who don't know, we've talked about it a lot in the last two seasons of Under the Glass. The John medium is from Futures is typically where I start in every board, and then I branch out from there. Sorry, actually, the first time I rode it was in the fins it has now, and then the next session, that same day, there was a little bit steeper waves. I'm like, oh, I should switch, and it was not as springy. So I went straight back to these after a handful of waves. I swapped them out. These fins and this board, it was I hadn't had that quick of off the bottom, off the top, controlled release in waves like this big in a long time. It's something that, from at least the way I surf, I can achieve on like a bigger wave,
right,
or like a smaller wave where you're kind of groveling. But in the like 4 to 5 foot range, this board vertically, or 3 to 5 foot range, this board vertically was so loose in a way where like I would have thought I'd be sliding out or skipping out or whatever, but it was so controlled. And like I said, I mean, it felt like a skateboard in the sense that every wave I stood up on once I got the fins dialed was like, I just didn't even have to think about it. And so
it was
still
just like part of your body going down the line.
So literally I only swapped into those other fins where I was like, oh, something feels weird, and swapped back. And it was like 5 or 6 waves or something. And it's super, that flex and pop off the lip and off the bottom, it's like so springy and fast. It's such a fun board. I could just ramble about how fun this board is for so long.
Listening to the spring and like kind of listening to you describe like the feeling, having to think that like some of that is coming from the spring of the board, like having it be stringerless. And the other part is like the black sticks, like the black stick fins, like they have that negative foil on the inside of the front fins, and you get so much extra spring and drive and speed out of those fins. Like the combo of it, like, I guess it sounds insane.
Yeah, and it's weird because I feel like a lot of times, even when I'm saying about how controlled it was off the top, there's a lot of turns I would have where I feel like on a, kind of more standard poly shortboard, I'd be like sliding out off the top, and this just was like gripping the wave. I don't know. I don't even really know how to put it. You're watching all the clips right now. It was just going. I've had nothing but good things or suggestions about this board to everyone.
Did you tried the John Johns, you tried the neutral black sticks. Did you try the pivot?
I did try the pivot. So, and that was actually what I found was super interesting, right? This board, is kind of like above a groveler, but not full high performance. Okay. It's like there in the middle, like in the ideal in like the 3 to probably 6 foot range. Faces, East Coast here, we're faces, 3 to 6 foot. Not Hawaii. And I put the pivots in it because I'd been experimenting in like the puddle jumper and even last year with the pivots. I put the pivots in this, and in like knee-high waves, it went great. Okay. Like if I was trying to surf a QS heat, I would ride this board with the pivots in it. And I tried them in a little bit bigger surf, and they still felt pretty good, but I found myself going back to these more neutral fins. These are the F6. And it felt just a little bit better because I will say, being that it's stringerless epoxy, when you get a little bit of wind and you're trying to go out on the face and do carves and stuff, like you want it to grab a little bit better. So that's where the pivots weren't as ideal. Okay. But it was pretty wild to see the range that this board fit in, from like literally a knee-high wave feeling good. Like maybe the second time I surfed it, I surfed with Mason and just like literal knee to thigh high onshore waves, to like, he had a contest coming up. I was like, let's just go get wet. And I was like, whoa, this board is really sick. And the waves were horrible. Right. Yeah. Even on up to head high. I don't think I caught some overhead waves on it, but mostly like head high, but softer head high and little overhead. And it's felt good the whole way. Like, I just literally look for every opportunity to ride this thing. One
of the things we learned from shapers over the last couple of years is like matching your fins like to the rocker of the board. And so like as the boards were getting more and more tail rocker, they found, and we found actually in some of, like with the CI Pro, that going with a fin that has more rake actually matches the rocker of the board better. So like looking at this board, like this board's got a little bit more rocker than the puddle jumper. Yes. So maybe like the natural fin is more of a neutral rather than a pivot, unless you're going to be like ultra groveling on the thing. Okay, and I just realized one of the main things that has been super cool about this board, and I don't know why, Britt could tell you, maybe you could tell me, it's insanely forgiving. Like turns that I've botched and maybe mistimed, or airs that I've landed and been kind of off on. I don't know what it is up in here in the way it's designed, and maybe it is the extra rocker for a board this size, but insanely forgiving in that I feel like I'm riding out of way more things that I would, like I'm in the moment of getting caught or in the moment of digging rail or bogging or whatever, and it just like is like, no, it's okay, we're gonna keep going. I'm like, whoa, okay. Like it's been pretty wild in that aspect, and another one of the reasons I love it. It's like, forgiving boards are nice. Like even high performance shortboards aren't necessarily forgiving. You got to be
on your game and surfing razor edge and whatever, this thing provides that, but it also is like helps you along as well.
One of the things I noticed, like when we were in the same session and watching you surf this board, is that at your ability level, like this board grovels really well and sometimes better because of the way the nose fits into the wave. Like
because our little waves are so bowly too. So that's part of it. Is like I'm talking about. It worked in knee-high waves, thigh-high waves, but steep and punchy. I mean, it was like 7 or 8 seconds, but 7 or 8 seconds is like can stand up here.
Yeah.
So that is the difference. Yes, in a bowly cupped out wave, even if it's this big, this board can go better than a groveler if you're looking at performance.
Okay. And like, what about, you talked a little bit about like the ease and the forgiveness. So I'm going to have to guess accessibility for someone looking at this board. Less ability than you is good.
I mean, in my head, I would say when it comes to like, especially someone that is maybe thinking about shortboards, like say you've been on a groveler or say you're trying to come down, like I said, high performance shortboards require good waves or at least good surfing. A board like this is like a great entry level shortboard where it's going to give you that ability to do what you want. But the forgiveness when you mess it up, because we're all going to mess it up.
That's a good combo. So. And again, going back to the theme of season 3, quivers, where does this board fit into your quiver?
I mean, like I said, I pack it. I would say I've been finding myself packing it with a groveler because you show up and you're like, it's small and soft, and it's not as ideal in that. Just other boards are going to go better in super fat waves. But then it also can handle like pretty good waves up until I'm riding like my full high performance board. It's right there in between. I think it fills the gap where like a groveler goes up to maybe chest high. If you really want, I personally don't ride grovelers any bigger than like this.
Okay.
This for me goes from 1 foot to 6, 7 foot. I don't necessarily recommend it at 7 foot, but if it's soft and you have a little bit overhead wave, again, faces. You got a little overhead wave.
I've never heard anybody call pipe 7 foot.
Pipe is always 2 to 3. So ideally though, you're looking the thigh high to like head high range. That's this board's money spot.
And there is overlap, like with your groveler to this, like with, and again, like building quivers, like you have a little bit of overlap on each of the boards.
Yeah, and I personally like that. I don't like when boards kind of don't necessarily meet or barely meet.
Okay.
It's like you want that overlap so that in your decision making, you paddle out, you're not like, oh, I should have read that other thing. Like either way, you're going to have a good time, regardless of which board you pick. So from groveler to this, you're in that range of decision making, you're going to have a fun session.
So Brett, along the lines of sizing this board, what's your height and weight?
So I'm 5'9", about 165 pounds, and then this board is a stock 5'7". It's 19 inches wide by 2.3 inches thick and 26.3 liters.
And where, like 26.3, like kind of where does that sit compared to like your full high performance shortboard?
Yeah, it actually falls kind of right in line with my high performance shortboards. Like all my shortboards are around 26 liters.
Okay.
That's what I shoot for anyway. So with a board like this, I wanted to be kind of close to there because for me, it's like a performance board. You're going to ride it when it's like not big, but like small and decent. And I wanted to be able to whip it around. So I didn't want, it to be too big.
So Brett, you rode this board in ultra small waves, medium small waves.
Yeah.
But you also rode it in pool waves.
And this is like the ideal pool board.
Why?
I got to ride it at Atlantic Park Surf in Virginia Beach. I also rode it out at the Palm Springs Surf Club in California. Okay. Don't have any footage of that, but it goes great in the pool for 2 reasons. One is the stringerless epoxy. So you got that buoyancy compared to having a poly and the chlorine where there's, you don't have that buoyancy of salt water. Mm-hmm. And I actually tried riding a groveler in the pool, and the pool waves are steep enough that like you can actually surf them. Like it's not, 2015 wave pools. Like the wave pools are good now.
The Pennsylvania wave pool.
Yeah, and so I liked this board the most. I think I would like to have a quiver of like 3 of these boards just to have for pool days or whatever.
Right.
It's really good because you have that extra rocker, because it's very forgiving, because you have that buoyancy. It makes the pool sessions just super fun. I will say, like if you're surfing maybe the lesser advanced pool waves that are a little softer, then it's not quite enough. At least for me, I would actually ride the same board, just maybe like a liter more, like the next step up, so that I had more buoyancy. But this design and shape and everything feels so good in the pool waves.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that and how much you like it in the pool, because I ran across a lot of people at Atlantic that had better every days that like
really,
that absolutely love them in the pool.
It's so good. So, and honestly, what was cool was I was even in the public sessions able to like whip the tail around and do airs and whatnot. It didn't feel like I was limited to like face surfing, and yeah, this is just it's good for everything. Brown water, blue water, pool water.
What about the other thing you mentioned was doing airs on this board and the confidence that it gave you like in the air, like kind of expand on that a little bit.
And I think maybe that translates to why I like it so much in the pool, right? The pool is kind of your controlled environment. And so that's where you can push yourself a little bit as far as like technically speaking. You're not surfing like bigger waves or heavier waves, but technically you can start feeling out the little intricacies of stuff. For me, when it comes to performance surfboards, there's just so many factors. Some people will be like, oh, I love this, I love that. I'll have one board I like, I'll have a duplicate, same dims, same everything, but the glass job's different in the sense that maybe it was glassed on a cold day versus a hot day or whatever, and so it feels heavier, and sometimes it only feels heavier in the nose. And so then trying to whip it around and do airs, I just have less control. And this board I've had, out of the boards I've had for the last like 2 years,
right,
I have not had a board that I was as confident in as this board. And so when it comes to aerial surfing, I haven't had a board that I could hop on and just be like, I'm going to do, or at least try to do, whatever I want to do without fear of getting hurt. Because when you, at least for me, when you start, implementing or having to deal with like, oh, well, this board's good for all this, but it's not that great in the air. Like I have some shortboards that are like great for rail surfing, and I can do airs on them, but not in full control. This is just full control. Everything from the face to the air, like it's just perfect. So
rewinding to that pool feedback, like the other thing over the long haul, like that's going to do really well with this board in the pool. Like what we've seen in the pool is like you're getting a repetitive wave and you're getting to really dial in your surfing, which means you're really pushing in your turns. And in a standard poly board, that's going to mean over time that the deck's going to just like cave in. Where like something like the Spine Tech with the EPS epoxy and the added durability on the deck, like that's going to hold up a lot more, especially with how much you're surfing this
repetitive
board at home.
Sessions,
how much you're surfing at home, but specifically once you get in that pool and you're riding that same wave again and again and pushing harder and harder on each turn. Having that added deck durability that Spine Tech gives you is definitely, I think, a big bonus. Okay, awesome. Brett, thank you so much. It's the Channel Islands Better Every Day in Spine Tech Construction.
And it gets better every day you ride it.
If the viewers have any questions on the Better Every Day or would like to order one, either stock or custom, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.
Every day I've ridden it, I've liked it better.